YouTube, we're going to change gears a little bit today and we're going to talk a little bit about cars. And I have right here in front of us is my 1992 Mustang GT. Now, this is a low mileage car, has around 25,000 original miles on it, and it has a supercharger on it. And I've made a couple shorts on this on YouTube and joking around about outrunning Hellcats and stuff. And boy, the hate mail that I get over this. Folks, these people are usually the younger generation that will absolutely write hate mail about something that they do not understand. The majority of the people do not own either one of them. They do not own a Mustang and they do not own a Hellcat, nor do they own a modern Mustang. And all I hear about on these hate mails is how this car won't even keep up with a modern Mustang. Well, I'm going to explain a little bit of science to you, and if I bore the people that mainly watch my firearm content, I'm going to apologize right now. So this car in 1992 made 225 horsepower and 300 foot-pounds of torque. And they were one of the fastest cars on the road. Every car out there was always compared to the 5.0 Mustang. And anytime you got anything that was somewhat fast or any type of hot rod car, the first thing people asked, will outrun a 5.0. And these things would outrun Corvettes, they would outrun Camaros, all the little cars around there that were considered quote unquote muscle cars. These cars would usually win. Now, fast forward to today's modern times. Today's modern times, the younger crowd growing up do not even know what these cars are or what they're capable of. All they see is these horsepower numbers and what stuff will do on the dyno. Well, dyno doesn't equal power on the street, folks. And I've been around this game long enough where I understand that. So I'm going to use, for example, a brand new Mustang GT. Those cars are rated around 450 horsepower. That's about double of what this car was in 1992. And they also weigh about 600 to 700 pounds more. This car literally parked next to a new Mustang looks like it will fit inside of that car. And these younger folks do not understand, or uneducated folks, just not younger folks in general, do not understand power to weight ratio. This is a 3,000 pound car, and I'm going to walk over to it. I'm going to show you what the equalizer is. This car has a supercharger on it. This is a pushrod 302 5.0 Mustang, and it has a supercharger on it. Now, this supercharger only makes about 5 pounds of boost, and that was done intentionally. I grew up in an era where these cars were cool, and I had one of these as my very first car. And I have a deep appreciation for them, and people usually like the first thing that they had. So I said, if I ever got into a position where I could get another one of these, I'm going to. And I do not daily drive this car, but you could easily daily drive this car. So what I did is I put all Ford Motorsport parts on this car. Nothing crazy, aftermarket, outrageous. It has Ford Motorsport injectors, Ford Motorsport intake, and a Ford Motorsport supercharger. And this thing has been dyno tuned, and it is greatly tuned down with 5 pounds of boost and a base timing of 10 degrees. And anybody knows anything about cars knows when you start bumping up fuel, timing, and boost, you're going to make more power. This car is not that, folks. This car, you can jump in it, start it, and drive it to California from where I live right now. And that is all the way across the country. It is very reliable. It doesn't make noises, it doesn't rattle, or any of that kind of good stuff. And it will outrun the majority of the stuff out on the street. Now, when you start looking at horsepower numbers in today's times, you have these cars making 600 and 700 horsepower. What these people don't understand is how much of that is usable horsepower. Now, take for instance like the Dodge Hellcat. I think they make around 700 horsepower, give or take, and I could be wrong, folks. Maybe around 700 horsepower. How much of that horsepower can they put to those rear tires right there? This car has sufficiently less than that, and this car is absolutely useless in first and second gear. There is absolutely no traction whatsoever in this car. So what would I do to make this car faster? Add more power to it? Well, I'm not going to do that because the power that it has right now is absolutely not really a usable amount of horsepower. So I am fine with it just how it is. If I added horsepower to this car, it absolutely would probably actually slow it down, to be honest with you, and make it not drivable. And right now it is perfectly drivable, and it is just as reliable as my everyday driver. So why would I add more horsepower to it? What I wanted to do is add reliability to it, and that's why I chose to go with a very mild setup in it. And this is just about as mild as it gets, folks. You don't need to make 1,000 horsepower and drive a car around on the street. And let me let y'all in on a little secret here. I've been in the car scene a long time, and I know how to make them go fast. And I can make this car absolutely outrun a Hellcat, new Mustang, a Tesla. It doesn't matter at the racetrack. I have enough experience, enough driving experience, and I've been around them a long time where I know how to do that. That would require hacking this car up, doing suspension work, putting sticky tires on it, and taking it to the track and absolutely abusing it. And I'm not going to do that. That's what the problem is with these cars. That's why there's not many of them around, because every one of these cars have been hacked up and raced and abused, and there's not a lot of them left out here in this good a shape. Now, I'm not telling you this is a perfect car, but it's in relatively good shape, and I'm very happy with it. But anyway, folks, the next time you see something that you don't understand on the internet, don't go on there and start making crude comments and stuff, especially if you do not understand what you're looking at. That is my soapbox for today, folks. Thank you very much for watching my video, and you folks have a great day.